Hey guys and gals, Glenn from Brisket Barbecue, and I know it's been a while. I didn't have a job for about a year and a half, so I didn't have money to buy meat. So, first brisket of 2021, and I'm going to show you how to do the right way to do Kansas City style burn ends. So I've been cooking this brisket all day. It's looking really good. It's at temp. I cooked to 203. That's my secret. Not a secret anymore. But basically, I see a lot of barbecue shows, and people are always like, oh, I'm going to make burn ends out of all the brisket, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to add this sauce, and blah, 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 blah. You can get fancy, and you can try to be the ultimate chef if you want to be. But the right way to do burn ends is this. This is how I learned growing up partially in Kansas City. This is where I'm from. And it's very simple. So you take your brisket up to your temperature. Like I said, I go to 203. Brisket is in two parts. If you get a full brisket, it's got two main sections. The flat, which is this bigger piece on the bottom. And you'll see why you're going to call it a flat here in a minute. And then the point. So the point is because you have this little point right here, and they're connected by kind of a big vein of fat all the way through. So what you want to do is you're not going to burn the burn ends, but you're going to make it look like it, and you're going to end up cooking it longer. So what we want to do is separate the point from the brisket flat here, and then we're going to put this back on, this flat back on. We're going to re-rub it, put it back on, because you want that rub to caramelize a little bit more, and that gives it the impression that it's burnt. So a lot of times it can be pretty simple. You just got to find the right spot. But basically, there is that vein of fat that runs through here, and that's right in here basically. But you kind of have to search around for it. And the nice thing is, once the knife gets it, you can usually cut through really, really easily. So if I go in here, I can look for it. Yeah, I found it. So you just want to take it slow so you don't cut into the brisket itself. But if you do it right, and I haven't done this for about a year, so but if you do it right, you should be able to slice this right off. And what you're going to see is on top of the flat, it's going to be just an exposed section of fat. So I might trim that off a little bit, probably not. But I'm going to take the flat, and that's going to go into a pan to rest. And then this point here is going to go on for an additional amount of time. But I see even on like the Char-Griller group on Facebook, all these people talking about, this is how I do burn ends, this is how burn ends are done, blah, 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 and that is not true. If you go to Kansas City and get burn ends at a place like Zarda, which actually got voted best in the city, I think last year or the year before, most places will do it this way. Joe's, for instance. I wouldn't say Jack Stack, because Jack Stack, I think, cheats a little bit for stuff. Also, I will implore with you, if you go to Kansas City and you hear of, oh, go try this, go try that, and one of those is Jack Stack, don't listen to them. I don't want to slander them. You know, I don't like to speak ill of other places, but I don't understand personally why Jack Stack is such a tourist attraction, because I've never been impressed with that place. And the funny thing is, that was one of my dad's favorite places. I've never understood it, but everyone has their own taste. So, but as you can see, it comes right off. I'm just taking it slow because I haven't done this for a while. But the nice thing is, I mean, the knife goes right through that fat. Oh my gosh, the smell right now. And the thing is, the point has a lot of fat in it still, and it's really soft. So you got to be careful that if you're using a fork like this, that you're not tearing it apart. That's why I'm taking so long to do it. Whoa! And if you don't get it perfect, you don't get it perfect. It's barbecue. Unless you're competing. And even then, whatever. So I'm going to flip this over. I usually go fat side up, but I'm going to flip this over so I can re-rub it. Oh yeah. Looks like we got a pretty decent smoke ring today. Smoked with a little bit of pecan, not a lot, but a little bit of pecan, but with a lot of hickory and cherry today. Just had a bed of charcoal to get it going and to keep things warm for a little while until the wood really got going. And I actually didn't use that much wood today. It was crazy. All right. So we're gonna get this flat in here. So in Kansas City, when you get barbecue, a lot of times you get slices. It's not like Texas where you get big pencil thick slices. In Kansas City, you usually get really, really thin slices. And what they do is they take the flat normally and they put it on a slicer and just go to town with it. Today I'm using my uncle's rub. Did a lot of BS rub. This actually won the American Royal a couple of years ago for brisket. A few years ago. I don't remember the year, but this was the rub that he used when he got first place in brisket at the American Royal. So I don't normally cake on a lot of rub on my brisket. I do it with pork, but I don't really do it with brisket usually. But burn ends, it's different. I like to put a lot on here so it caramelizes. This doesn't have any salt in it at all, and very little sugar, so it's not going to caramelize as much, but it will. So you just want to kind of cake it on there a little bit because it's also going to run off a little bit because of any fat that's in there. It's going to run through. But this is going to smoke for another 2 to 4 hours. That's how you make Kansas City burn ends, right there. So that right there, it's probably about 3 to 4 pounds. And then what'll happen once that's done, and I'm not even going to check temperature on this. I usually go 2 to 4 hours. This is the only barbecue that I do by like how it looks, because you don't want it to dry out, obviously. So I've just got the one probe on right now to watch the grill temperature itself, and I see a little piece here that I can bite, and I dropped it on the ground. So this is the only time that I go by how it looks, because normally I go by temperature. So yeah, but that's it for Kansas City burn ends. Once that's done, you basically just take it off, let it rest like normal, and you'll cut it into, that was the other thing when I was seeing some of these barbecue shows, but you just cut it into cubes about yay big. They can be as long or as short as you want. You just cube it up about that big and serve it up that way with some sauce. You can eat it without sauce. When you're doing all the extra rub, it kind of takes away the need for sauce a little bit more. But it's Kansas City, so you need sauce, because that is a major component of barbecue in Kansas City. So let's pat that in a little bit. I'm going to flip this over. Oh man, that came out really good. This has actually been sitting in my fridge for like a week because I have a bad hip and I haven't been able to really walk too well. And we had a really harsh winter this year, and I wasn't really doing too much smoking because, as you can see, I'm out in the middle of my driveway, and it gets really icy. So, and also these grills are great, but when it's really cold out, they're not insulated, so sometimes it can get kind of rough staying up the temperature. So I'm gonna put the lid on. I'm gonna put another piece of wood in, probably some more hickory, and we're just gonna let this go for another probably 2 to 4 hours. Again, this is the only one that I really go by with how it looks, how it feels, and it may need to be re-rubbed, but I doubt it, you basically just want that nice crust to build up on the spot that you cleaned off, that you separated from the flat. So that's all you're really doing. So that flat's going to go probably just into the oven. I don't turn the heat on, but I put it in the oven to stay insulated. And it'll rest in there for an hour or two, and I'll slice that up. And while I'm doing that, this will keep going for burn ends, and there's your Kansas City style burn ends the way you should make it. So like I said, if you go to Joe's, that's exactly how they make it. Just different rub. So I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry for being gone so long. Hopefully this year we'll be able to do some more stuff. And if you guys have got any comments, any requests, like for what you'd like to see smoked, put it down in the comments. No fish. I will not do fish or seafood. But anything else, if I can get a hold of the meat, we'll try it. So thanks much.